All right, we're going to start with questions for TJ. Ben.
Yeah, TJ, it was a tough weekend, man. But to come back like y'all did, for you to get that big knock, just what does it feel like for the team to just get that lift, come back like you did?
Yeah, we definitely needed something like that. It was we struggled the first 2 days, didn't come out with a win. So I think today being down and coming back and fighting back out the way we did, I think it was a huge confidence booster for us. So I think that'll be good for us going ahead.
For you in that at bat, were you looking for anything in particular, or were you just trying to attack fastball? What was the approach?
I mean, every at bat I have, I attack fastball early in the count and then protect later. But um, that particular at bat threw me a fastball I could hit. And I saw it and I got a good barrel on it. So.
Chase.
Yeah, TJ, what's the big thing to stay in a game like that? You're down 9-1 for so long, keeping energy up, just that kind of thing. What's kind of the key to, since really kind of not laying down and letting it go?
I have to say energy. I feel like once the dugout and once the players start to lose a sense of energy in the game, then you start to feel like you already lost. So I feel like when we keep our energy high, we feel like we still have a chance, and it's never over until the last out. So I think energy plays a big part in that.
What went through your mind when Kemp hits that ball? What are you thinking? What are you doing? What are you feeling?
It was crazy, man. I was so happy for him. Hasn't had many at bats this year, so for him to come off the bench and have a huge AB like that, I was so happy for him and excited for the team for the walk off. That was great watching that.
Any more questions for TJ? All right, TJ, you're all good. Thank you.
Thank you.
We got Kemp Alderman next. We'll take questions for Kemp. Ben.
Kemp, the red shirt comes off, man, and you get your first at bats, and then you get this moment. What was that like for you, just to get that and been waiting for that for so long? How'd that feel for you?
I've always been an Ole Miss fan my whole life, and this is what I dreamed of. And in the last inning, when I was in the right field, I said, this is what you've been waiting for your whole life. Go up there, don't try to do too much, have some fun, and see what happens. And it paid off.
Speaking of this offense, I mean, y'all fell down 9-1, but to battle back like y'all did after a tough weekend, what does that say about this team and just what kind of lift can that provide moving forward?
Uh, Everyone knows that we got a really competitive offense, probably one of the better offenses in the SEC. Here lately, we ain't been hitting as good as we have been, but our team, it don't matter if it's the first inning or ninth inning, we're always competing, and just shows how good our offense is.
Chase.
Yeah, Kemp, just biding your time. I mean, before Tuesday, what are you working on? What's kind of your day to day? I mean, what's what in your head did you think this opportunity may come this year, or did you kind of resign that this was going to be another year before you got here?
I know when I got redshirted, it kind of just put a fire under me to just keep working harder. And I've been doing everything with the team that they've been doing. So I've been working some with my swing with Coach Clem, and just been working hard every day. My dad told me, he said, just be ready if the time does come this year. If it don't, just work hard and be ready for next year. And I got the time, and I'm thankful for it.
Anything specific that you were working on as far as, pitch recognition? I mean, what's sort of been the key the last month or so?
All it was, I just had a little hitch in my swing, and I've been trying to stop that and hold my hands further back now, but that's it.
What was the pitch? Kind of what'd you think off the bat?
It was a fastball middle away, and as soon as I hit it, I knew it was gone, and I kind of blacked out after that, and it was just a crazy feeling, one I won't ever forget.
Nick.
Kemp, can you talk us through the celebration a little bit? You said you blacked out, but it seems like your teammates kind of mobbed you there.
Yeah, they did. They were hitting me really hard, but I didn't feel too much pain because I couldn't really feel my body at the time. But it was an awesome experience. I will never forget, and I hope somebody has it on video.
Any more questions for Kemp? All right, Kemp. Thank you.
So.
Hey, questions for Coach Ben?
It's an obvious question, Mike, but it'd been a tough weekend. Then you fall behind 9-1 for them to battle back like that and to get that win. Just how much of a lift can it be? Does it feel like?
Oh, we'll see in the future, but just, something we needed. Obviously, it hasn't been a good, few weeks for us. And, and really this weekend we played as poorly as we have all year and probably for several years, collectively, when you look at all the phases and, offensively and, hitting with runners in scoring position, defensively and errors and not being able to field bunts. We talked about that, last night. And then, even pitching, we had some good moments, obviously, with, some of the starters, but not, collectively as a team, to get through. So this was kind of like, the worst of the worst. And so to get to the 8th inning and because I believe in the 7th, we may have had bases loaded. It was either 7th or the 6th. We had bases loaded. We're right in the middle of the lineup and, we don't score either. We don't get, even a sac fly. And so for the guys to not hang their heads, to continue to compete, just really proud, as like you said, the obvious is, just really proud. And, hopefully, we got finals this week. So it'll be a little pause. We'll take the next couple of days off, and it's probably a lot better pause ending this way than what could have happened. But just really proud of the guys.
You mentioned when you pulled the red shirt off of Kemp against Arkansas Little Rock that he'd earned that he'd worked to that point. What all have you seen from him to get to this moment to where he gets that walk off?
Well, we've seen in the fall. I mean, he's just got freakish power. I mean, not even arguably, but we've never had somebody in the program hit the ball as hard consistently, day in and day out, in BP, inter squad games, the exit velocity. It's amazing. And but he just had a rough fall, like a lot of freshmen do. And as we got to the springtime and just figured he wasn't going to get on the field, he just wasn't going to get the opportunities. As he's working with Coach Clem, they noticed a little hitch in his hands, which kind of made him a little bit late, get caught in between where he's behind the fastball. And because he was behind the fastball, it made him a little early for the breaking ball. So he just, kind of in between, both pitches. And so he's worked with Coach Clem. He's kind of gotten his arm a little straighter, a little unorthodox, but it's really worked for him. And in the hitter versus pitcher scrimmages, when the red shirts and the guys that haven't played a lot in those practices, he's been lights out. He's been lights out in batting practice, more consistent. Been lights out in the controlled scrimmages. So he's earned this spot. And we're down 9-1, and it's a chance for him to get a couple at bats. I mean, that's how he got into the game. It's like, well, we'll put him at Leatherwood. You could tell was really struggling still. Just to catch a fly ball. So we said, we'll run Kemp out there, let him get a couple at bats. Little did we know he'd be batting in the bottom of the 9th with the score tied.
Chase?
Yeah, Mike, I looked up and saw him toss him, but when did you think, hey, get Broadway up, this game, could tighten back up? What was sort of the deal there?
9-5. when it was 9-5, right after Peyton. I guess Peyton's home run made it 9-5, if I'm not mistaken. And when he hit his home run and they went to the pen, Broadway was actually in the dugout at the time, and so we sent him down there. We were going to bring in Cody Adcock to just get an inning, when it was still 9-1. But when it got to 9-5, I was going to bring Broadway in because we knew he could pitch it, at least an inning today, maybe two. But he said for sure, even yesterday, he said I got an inning in me, and figured we were going to use that inning now because there's no more innings after 10 unless you tie it up. And so if we keep it at 9-5. Maybe we have a shot, a couple guys on, the wind's blowing out, maybe we have a chance. We just couldn't afford to give up any more runs. And so when it was 9-5, and then of course after TJ's home run, it looked smart, but he was coming in 9-5. Sure, people would have said some stuff about that, using your closer at 9-5. What are you doing? But I'm glad he was loose and ready to go.
Lost in the offense a little bit, but Doherty handled emotions a lot better today than maybe Tuesday, and kept you guys in it when it could have really gotten away right there.
No doubt. I mean, I said it, on the radio just a few minutes ago. When the game started, they just looked like it was going to be their day offensively, and I can't wait to see the tape to watch McDaniel pitch, because I don't think he pitched that poorly. I just think it was one of those days where hitting's contagious, and they hit some really good pitches, wind's blowing out, and I know he was certainly disappointed, but just frustrated. It's one thing when you give up runs and you're just not making pitches, but it's another thing when you're making what you consider some pretty good pitches, and they're getting swings on them and hitting them well, and it's just their day. But then we get to the point where Jack comes in and puts up. We hadn't put up a zero in a while. I mean, it was, I think, 5 innings where they scored every inning, and then he ends up giving us a couple of zeros. Tyler comes up, and that'll be the things that get lost in this, right? Doherty, Tyler Myers, a guy that was been up in the pen all weekend, waiting for his opportunity to come in. He puts up a zero. Of course, Broadway puts up a zero in the 9th. Just some things that got us to that opportunity.
Nick?
Mike, y'all have had similar comebacks to this against Alabama and Arkansas. Can you identify something about this team that allows it to come back with these big deficits late?
Well, I think because we've done it, several times, I think they realize that they're in the game. They realize and got confidence in one another. I mean, it's you got to give them a lot of credit. I mean, we're in a bad moment, a bad time there. When you look at this, the bottom of the 7th, I guess it was, where here we are losing 9-1. Our best hitters are up, and we got bases loaded, no outs, and we can't scratch a run. It's that kind of was the culmination of the whole weekend. At least that's what it felt at the time. Where, man, this isn't our time. And but credit those guys for just hanging in there and putting an inning together. And amazingly, after Chatagner's home run, to set it up for Chatagner to get a home run, get it to 9-5. But then after they bring in a new pitcher, to set it up once again for McCants, and that's, you got to give that offense a lot of credit.
Chris?
Mike, could you talk a little bit about the emotion of the home run, especially from your standpoint? It seemed like you and Kemp had a really nice embrace after he hit the plate.
Well, first of all, you should know that I've known Kemp for a really long time. I've known Kemp since he was 12 years old, and he's played travel ball with my son, Sam, and so I know Kemp and I know his family, and I've known him better than I've known any recruit probably in the history of the program. And so one special moment, just a kid that you've watched since he was 12 years old, to play at his dream school, to have a moment like that's really cool. But here's a side note. We got Kemp leading off. I talked to Van Cleve, and we're talking about, we don't bunt a lot and we don't bunt great, but Van Cleve's like our best punter. And so I told Van Cleve, I said, hey, if he gets to second base, we may bunt. And so I go, we're going to run Plumlee. So I've got Plumlee in, and we're drawing up a play, like this is how we're going to do it. And then, John Rice is, the football guy. So you got to, talk to him in those terms. And as I'm talking to Plumlee, I hear the crack of the bat and I see the ball go up, and I don't really follow the ball. I just see Kemp kind of do the to the dugout. And so I didn't really see it. So like him, yeah, I'm anxious to see it all over social media.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Chase.
Yeah, Mike, just daily gunner update. Was there any shot today? Did he try to throw it all? What's sort of his situation?
I'm not sure if he played catch today or not. We made a decision really when I talked to him probably about 8 o'clock, 8:30, right after breakfast. He threw yesterday and he long tossed, probably got out to, I don't know, maybe 150, 160 feet. He did some pull downs, which is, let it go, not just, the lobs. And then when he got into about 75 feet, he did some crow hops and let some balls go. So we feel confident he's going to be fine. He just still didn't feel, he still felt, some of the stiffness. He didn't feel any better today than he felt yesterday. He feels a lot better now than he did 3 days ago, 4 days ago, whenever, this weekend started. And, talking to him, it wasn't smart. Why are we going to push it? Here we are in the final day. Yeah, we need him, but we need him the rest of the year. And so it's something that still day to day, but I feel really good about it. I know, probably a lot of people were cringing when he didn't end up, throwing today, but it was, I feel pretty good. We'll see, how he feels in the middle of the week, but, I feel pretty good that he's going to be all right the rest of the way.
Did Max's surgery go as planned? Nothing abnormal there?
Yeah, it was, big success. And, he got back yesterday. He was in Birmingham. The surgery was on Thursday. He got back yesterday because they keep you there a day just to see you the day after the surgery, do a little, rehab. And so he got back late last night, but still, drowsy. And so he wasn't at the game last night, but he was at the game today. And, pretty cool for him to be there. One of our, he's always been, one of our, energy guys, big emotional leader for us.
You mentioned it for a second, kind of your opening statement or whatever, but from a defensive issue standpoint, how do you sort of identify what's going on there? Because that's kind of uncharacteristic for you guys.
Yeah, and it's really disappointing because we haven't been terrific defensively all year long, but we've caught it pretty well in conference play. Our numbers are pretty good in conference play. Probably the biggest disappointment, was just the bunt defenses yesterday and just not handling it, just not handling the pressure very well. Obviously, we talked a lot about it in pregame today, showed video, showed alignments where guys were probably out of position, for the bunt defenses. And I think they got it. I think they understood. Obviously, they bunted a couple times today and successful sacks, but that's the way it's supposed to look. You're supposed to field them and, get the out. And so, it looks like we cleaned that up a little bit. But I think that's more frustrating. Defensively, sometimes it just comes with confidence. And I think, it's kind of the lull that we've been in. We haven't played as well.
Any further questions for Coach? All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.